Okay, so the finale has come for the franchise that changed the meaning of disturbing forever. Yeah, that happened. Okay, so the Human Centipede 3 final sequence is, yeah, before we start with that, when you let people like Tom Sixton into Hollywood, you're gonna get weird crap. Actually, before we do anything, I'm gonna explain why I watch this. For the lols. Not kidding. But that's pretty much it. I thought people would be entertained watching me talk about this abomination against humanity. It's so disturbing, it's not even funny. First two Human Centipede movies, I did watch them. First one sucks balls. But shot well. And the second one was even worse. Also shot well though. This one, about as bad as the second one. They're both in my top 10 worst movies ever made. But well shot. But anyone can do a well shot movie, so yeah, this movie is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It is so frigging, I don't even know what the word is, revolting. I thought I was going to vomit many times during this movie. And the human centipede part wasn't even really that disturbing, because I've already seen it 2 times. It's disturbing, but it's the least disturbing thing that happens in this movie. And that's only like the last 15 minutes of the movie. There is a whole movie before the human centipede part. It is awful. So this movie is about a guy, I guess you could say he's a warden, at a prison, and his accountant has shown him both Human Centipede movies. Apparently, this is the real world. If you've seen the first two, you understand what I mean by that. I'm not gonna explain it right now, but gosh, what? It's so stupid. So his accountant has this idea to lower the crime in the prisons and outside the prison, knowing that this could happen to them. So basically, they want to lower the crime rate, and so they decide to make a human centipede out of the prisoners. Ugh. And yes, to lower crime rate. It's that kind of movie. Tom Six is the most screwed up guy ever. He has a large part in this movie, actually. He's in this movie for quite a bit. Oh, everything. The dialogue in this movie. Every scene in this movie, put it that way. There is scenes, I'm gonna tell you some scenes in the movie. They're not really technically spoilers to the plot, and why would you want to know what happens in this movie? So there's a scene where a guy gets castrated, and the next scene, this guy, Boss, that's his name, William Boss or Bill Boss, as they call him in the movie. I don't remember his name. Anyways, he eats his testicles for lunch. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And then there's a scene where he has a nightmare about one of the prisoners cutting a hole in his kidney and screwing him in the kidney. This is a graphic movie. It's just awful. Why do people agree to make these things? Because maybe the first two had a cult following. And there's so much poop. That's weird for me to say, but there is. Like, the last half of this movie is all about poop. What's with the poop fetish? No. Oh, this movie's terrible. It's really just one of those movies that exists to be disturbing. That's the worst part about this movie. It's there to be disturbing, but it is more self-aware. At the same time, it isn't, though. Because they make fun of the fact that Tom Six has a poop fetish. So, I could see where that would be funny, but it's used in such a grotesque way. I don't even know anymore. I'm just glad this is the last movie, and the ending to this movie is so hilariously bad, where I will tell you what happens right now, because you don't want to know what happens. This is one of the worst movies ever made. Don't see this movie, so I'll tell you what happens. Or at least the gist of what happens. So at the end, this human centipede is created out of the prisoners, and I forgot, what is he? I don't remember anymore. He's gonna try to run for office or something. He doesn't really explain. But he comes to the prison. I forgot, what is it, mayor or something? I forgot. Man, that's how forgettable this is, luckily. But he's like mayor, and he comes to visit this prison. He's like, oh, this is disgusting, this is revolting. No. Then he comes back, 2 minutes later in the movie, and says, you know what? This is an amazing idea. And then he's like, this will get me elected to be president. And I'm just like, I would rather be the guy castrated in that one scene than have to watch this again. So, that tells you something about this movie. This movie is terrible. Don't see it. The Human Centipede 3, it's an F. Haven't given that grade in a while. Actually, I have, but not on YouTube. I've written reviews where I've given F's lately. Had a couple, actually. But, Yeah, this is by far the worst movie I've seen this year. Whoa. It's terrible. But it's really hilarious at the same time. And I don't know, it's really, really bad. But it's kind of hilarious when you actually think about what happened in this movie and how seriously they actually took it. So, yeah. I like doing reviews like this, because the stupider and crazier movies are, the weirder, it's more fun to talk about. So, luckily tomorrow, or sometime this weekend, hopefully, I get to see Tomorrowland. I could review that, and that will be so much better. I can already tell. Looking forward to this weekend, huh? And, maybe Poltergeist. I don't really have an interest in that, but, trying to think, what else this weekend? Nothing really. So that was my review of The Human Centipede 3. Don't see this movie, just please don't. So yeah, well, peace.